My hearty pranams to one and all. Before we get into actual meditation, I would like to explain to you how to meditate first, because many of you may not have meditated as per this methodology under heartfulness. Heartfulness offers multiple practices, something to do in the morning, something to do in the evening, something at 9 p.m., something at bedtime, and a very special process throughout the day as per your convenience. We also have weekly programs and we have yearly programs. This is how we meditate. We gently close our eyes and have our attention focused towards the heart in a very gentle way. We make a suggestion that the divine presence is already there in my heart, who is attracting my attention inward. Now, this process is aided or helped by Adya Shakti. This is very relevant for this place actually, this Ambaji Mandir. Ambaji is also known as Jagat Amba, Jagdamba. It is also known as Adya Shakti. Adya Shakti, the meaning is very simple. If you break this Sanskrit word Adya and Shakti, Adi Shakti, not half, Adya Shakti. Adi means something that prevailed before the creation came into existence. Shakti that prevailed before the creation, that was the cause of the creation, is Adya Shakti. The holder of the Shakti is Jagadamba. And that's why we worship. And is Jagadamba is in the form that we worship, the statues and murtis we create? No. But it is just a visual graphic to make us understand some way that she may be like this. But she is not like that in reality. Though we start with a form, akar, and we move on to nirakar, from the formless to formlessness. And where does this Adya Shakti descend in giving us the life? That original Shakti, the Adya Shakti, always descends in the heart. Upanishads, they say this. Vedas, they speak about it. Bhagavad Gita by Lord Krishna also talks about the presence of divinity in the heart. That's why the word Antaryamin, one who dwells within. If you break this word Hridayam, when Lord talks of what is Hridayam? Rid means the heart, Ayam means a place. Place where I reside, says Lord Krishna. Hridayam. When Arjun asks, Lord, I'm so fortunate that you have shown me this Vishwarup. But this form that you are bestowing on me, I'm afraid. Please come back to the original form, the friendlier form. So he collapses into his original form as Krishna, the way he was familiar to Arjun. He could not see the Vishwarup. He could not recognize his divinity before that. No one recognized Lord Krishna's divinity during his lifetime. But after Vishwarup Darshan, Arjun asks a fundamental question to Lord Krishna and asks, Lord, you have shown me this form, but what about the people who comes after us? How will they recognize you? So Krishna answers very gently and with a lot of compassion that hridayam pakshasi, meaning experience myself in the heart. There is no other place where one can experience not just divinity, but even mundane things can be experienced only in the heart. Love can be experienced in the heart. Divinity can only be experienced in the heart. That's why the term Antaryamin, one who dwells within, and that entity which gives us life, the life force, Jivatman, is within us. It is not outside us. Ever since birth, that entity is within us. And the moment it decides to quit, we breathe our last and drop. So this entity is our partner from birth to death, who dwells within us. We have to experience that within us. That's why this dhyana meditation. See, we simply go outward in a ritualistic way. Nothing wrong with it for children. Nothing wrong with worshipping things outside yourself as a symbol. To make temples and have small temples within the home, there is nothing wrong, absolutely. You can worship, but finally, the beginning that was there with some akar has to become nirakar. From forms, I must transcend into formlessness, the universal consciousness. The great Arvindo, his dream was also this, to help descend the mind of God, the ultimate consciousness on this planet. He wanted the consciousness of every human being be changed. But that's not an easy task. Everyone has to want to have it first. Before you like to have something, if someone gives it to you, you will not appreciate it. Even in your own family, to your own spouse or to your own children, when we say, please do something like this, or why don't you change and do this, you see how much resistance we face. And a saint from India saying that I'm going to bring the consciousness on this planet. If Lord could not do it, rather when Lord could not make any changes in Duryodhan during Mahabharata, how in the world, however great saint you may be, can change the consciousness of other person? So what I'm trying to say is this, very simple, that I am the one who should be wanting it. Unless you want it, no God can fulfill and elevate you to any level. Gods are also important when it comes to change. That does not matter. I mean, that does not mean that God cannot bring about change. They can if they want to, if the situation demands. Situation during Mahabharata was demanding, was calling for a change. So forcefully it was brought in. Either we change willingly or we'll have to change forcefully. Choice is ours. This battle that rages within us between right and wrong, that Mahabharata is within us. Listen to the heart or listen to the mind. That war is always within us, that conflict is within us, and the guiding force is also within us. You need courage. Even to a small business, you need some clarity and some courage. Some people, they have clarity, but they don't have courage to kickstart a project. They fail because they can't even start it. And especially divinity that is infinite. And in order to attain that infinity, imagine the amount of effort that will be required. Infinite. It will not do by just closing eyes for 2 minutes in the morning, standing in front of a statue, and move away without feeling anything at all. You're standing in front of a statue with agarbatti and diya, some prasadam, some tilak. What about the rest of the day? Is that consciousness tagging along with us? It has become the habit of doing certain things in certain way. This morning, I had the opportunity of worshipping Shiva Lingam and Ma Durga. They were chanting some slokas. I put before you a question when Panditji was reciting. Though I know Sanskrit, most of it were bouncing off my head. And the last one, Om, Him, Klim. How many of us understand the meaning of all that? Chamundaya. What is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of Jagat Amba, Jagdamba? In true sense. So, though with Shraddha we worship with all our hearts, there is still something lacking, the experience part of it, and the meaningful things of the rituals behind this worship. I have to understand every nuances of it and make it meaningful for myself so that I can evolve my consciousness willingly. Not because Rajubai says so, or Bikupai says so, or because so and so says so, but it must arise from within my heart like a flame. This inner flame, for it to burn, must not depend on anybody else, not even on your mother or father or your community. Why I say this, I'll explain to you in a moment. For example, if I ask Rajubai, do you believe in God? Rajubai say, what kind of a question is this? I have built a temple, isn't it? But when I ask, why do you believe in God? What will be your answer? This question is to all of us. We believe in God. Why? In fact, atheists, those who don't believe in God, are quite honest, according to my observation. People who believe in God, they don't know why, first of all, they believe in God. This belief has been borrowed by all of us. Borrowed knowledge cannot take us anywhere. It can take so far and no further. The knowledge that I believe in God, even if you ask your parents, they will also have the same answer. When I say I borrowed this from my parents will also say I borrowed it from my parents, or my community, or my dharma, or my shastras. But what do you say about it? No answers. So religions are okay. They have dogmas, systems, they have belief system. What is lacking is the experience of it. Knowledge has to be backed. Knowledge has to be strengthened by personal experience. And for that, we don't have to run away into forest and become ascetic or become a sannyasi. We can approach this spirituality like a, just as a bird has two wings. Likewise, we also fly with two wings, one in Bhautik Jivan with Adhyatmik Jivan, material world and spiritual world. We try and integrate it because they are not contradictory to each other. One can lead a successful family life and also worship God and move towards that. Spirituality is all about experience. So whenever we meditate, I only propose this simple thing, a heart to heart interaction with God. Say, God, I don't really know whether you're there or not. It's in fact, no? It's an honest statement. But my Lord, if you are there, please help me experience your presence. And then leave it to Him. Close your eyes and then gently meditate. This experience, rather the experiences day after day, day after day, they will be different. As we progress on the journey, which is the actual yatra. External yatra going from one Tirtha Dham to another Tirtha Dham, one external agency to another external agency. You might get satisfaction, but not true contentment. You might get peace, but you will never get samadhi. Just as adya Shakti that prevailed before the creation, likewise, the same adya Shakti can reflect, resonate in samadhi. Both are connected words. When you split the Sanskrit properly, adya Shakti, original Shakti that prevailed before the creation. Samadhi, Samadhi, the consciousness that prevailed before the creation. You get the idea now. Something that prevailed as energy, something that prevailed as consciousness. So, samadhi, when we attain or when we experience during meditation, will increasingly resonate with the original state, slowly and slowly. Why I say slowly and slowly, all of a sudden the entire samadhi does not descend on us because we are not prepared for it. For us to experience the ultimate samadhi is always incremental in doses, little bit today, little bit tomorrow, and that all depends on incremental purity of my heart. If I want to worship Amba Ma, Jagat Amba in my heart, what is the first prerequisite? Purity of the heart. With the garbage we carry in our hearts, I think you'll be simply whitewashing the presence. You'll just have this make believe. Like children do know, I have become Chhatrapati Shivaji or I have become Krishna. My children play like that. Sometimes they say I'm acting like a Ravan. They enjoy this play. I kill this Rakshas and I kill that. That is children's play. But for us to experience that, we should not fool ourselves and just make believe think that, oh, I did my job. No, that will not do. That is only cheating yourself. And most of us have been indoctrinated from very early childhood If you do this, the ultimate will be happy. If you don't do this, maybe you'll go to hell. If you do this, you donate so much, God will favor you with more and more wealth. These are all temptations of this world. And if you do even more punya, there will be some special place be reserved for you in the heaven. Whether you desire for this world or that world, desire is desire, and no desire can ever fulfill anyone's happiness. Desire by name, by nature, can never fulfill any happiness, never bring about any happiness. But you seek more and more. Once you are in heaven, you will also ask for what is next. So the purity of the heart. And where there is purity in the heart, love will always be there. And where there is love, God descends in such hearts. He's always looking for such hearts. Even if you hide somewhere, He'll find you automatically. And really speaking, with all my heart, with all my conviction, I say, Divinity is always seeking such Atman, such souls who are pure and loving, who are not mesmerized by external, but who are always striving to become more and more successful with their inner journey. Externalization of the God has become the main reason why Hinduism is suffering today. The decline of Hinduism is a result of externalization of gods and divinity. And I don't feel ashamed in sharing this with you all. Because when you think of this Antaryamin, who says? Lord Krishna says. What else does he say? I dwell in every heart. Vedas speak that flame of Atman is in your heart. The life giver is in your heart. And where are we searching for the life giver? Outside. The direction is wrong. It should have been inward, and we are looking for outside. Vedic times always say one fundamental thing, that consciousness can never be changed unless and until your direction is correct. Swami Vivekananda also says the main purpose of human janma is only one. It's all about evolution. And he also says that what sort of evolution, at what levels, because we have body, we have soul, and we have sukshma sharir. Can body evolve? When you study Darwin and many other theories, they talk of evolution of the physical form. But during my lifetime, the age that I am gifted with does not permit me to evolve. If I want to fly like an eagle or swim like a dolphin, I cannot. I can only age. I can become older and older. So that is not evolution, that is aging. At a soul level, Atma level, can soul evolve? Shastras say that it is pure in itself, it is immutable, unchanging. How can there be change? Because for evolution to have, you need to have a change. The only thing, according to Swami Vivekananda and according to Vasishtha Sanhita, from the period of Lord Rama of Ayodhya, he says, we have some level of consciousness. Our awareness is restricted. And he compares our awareness with a thin film of water, above which and below which there are two giant oceans. So imagine the level of evolution we are with when it comes to consciousness. He says our consciousness is like a thin layer of water sandwiched between two giant oceans. This thin layer has to rise into superconscious state, sky of superconscious, and also dive deeper into the ocean of subconscious. So he's only trying to say that let this thin layer of awareness, consciousness expand. In short, the purpose of life is simple expansion of consciousness to the extent that this consciousness becomes con- cosmic consciousness or universal consciousness and merge with the Adi Shakti. If you have any questions, we can tackle them after meditation. Because we'll, with your permission, we'll meditate now.
Hari Om Daaji, I'm Sindhu. I have a few questions. A few years back, a kind of self unfoldment happened for me and my husband together. So during this process, we kind of, when we meditate, we feel that our meditation sessions extend to about like 2.5 hours or 3 hours continuously. And rest of my family members, many of them are heartfulness practitioners. When we said that we are meditating for that long, the immediate response that we get from them is, you have to stop meditating. Either you have to have a guru or you have to stop meditating. So what are your thoughts on that?
Recently, you must have read in the newspapers. Honorable Prime Minister of India, Modi ji, meditated for 45 hours at Kanyakumari. I had sent a message to PMO, Prime Minister's office, that what sort of meditation you are doing, that you have to stretch it for 45 hours. It's like when you sit on your dining table, how long do you take to feed yourself? 5 minutes, 10 minutes? But you sit there for whole day. What does it say about yourself? So practice should be so efficacious and efficient that it brings about the result in the shortest possible time. Extension of time, sometimes we indulge in out of ego that, oh, I can meditate for so many hours. But that's not helpful because mind gets tired after some time. And the tired mind cannot be productive, cannot absorb, it just repels. So I generally recommend that meditate, but no more than 1 hour. If you feel like extending your meditation before after 1 hour, just stop it at 1 hour and then relax for about 5-10 minutes, drinks, water, juice, take a little walk, and then meditate again if you need to. But extended meditation for hours together is not productive. And especially when we meditate with this Adi Shakti, we call Pranahuti, you really don't have to meditate for a very, very long time. When you invoke this higher energy into yourself, let it do that work. Our job is to just close our eyes and think that you are in the lap of God or in the lap of your mother and just relax. You see, unfortunately, this term meditation is it does not reflect all that which was originally meant by dhyan. The ultimate. Yan means a vehicle. Vehicle that can take me to the ultimate. It is dhyan. In that process, we transcend our manas, buddhi, chit, and ahankar. All these subtle bodies are transcended. Means you don't think, you don't intellectualize, you don't think of yourself. It is just transcended. But according to English word, meditation means focused mind, concentrated mind. Focusing on what? So your mind is busy. While when we talk of dhyana, mind is absolutely relaxed. You have transcended thoughts. In meditation, you're busy thinking on one subject. That is focusing. And focus is always on known objects, isn't it? Can you focus on something you don't know? God is an unknown entity. So, how are you ever going to focus on God? Either you transcend that within short time or you cannot. My Guruji used to meditate for 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Because in 2, 3 minutes, whatever had to get connected with, he would attain that. For some of us, it takes 20 minutes, 30 minutes. With Adi Shakti being invoked in this whole process of meditation, it makes it very efficacious. That's why our path, Heartfulness Way, is also known as Sahaj Marg, because things happens in a very Sahaj way, in a very natural and simple way. So try this with a trainer. Since your parents are heartfulness practitioners, they can put you in touch with a trainer and you can take some initiation from them. Thank you.
Namaskar, Namaskar, Swamiji. Want to know whether meditation helps the final objective of a pure mind, or a pure mind helps meditation? Chicken first or egg first? Because most of the time, something is constantly in the mind, lots of transactions going on that interfere with good meditation. But you already clarified just now that don't try it for meditation for a long time, just do it for 20 minutes. That does make a lot of sense to me. But still, are we achieving anything until the mind is purified? Thank you.
Your question is like what came first? Seeds came first or the tree came first?
So, yeah.
It's like chicken and egg.
Yes.
Which is first? Without chicken, you can't have the egg, and without
Yes.
egg, you can't have the chicken.
Yes.
Same way, the pure mind and the state of meditation, which comes first? Pure mind, if there is pure mind, then you don't need to meditate.
Fantastic.
Okay. To cut the whole thing short, you are talking mainly of the disturbing thoughts during meditation. Okay? So we have to correct our lifestyle. When our mind is going everywhere during our leisure hours, when you're doing nothing, at that time, imagine or watch your thought processes. Out of 24 hours, when you sleep, rest of the hours, your mind is always chattering, busy. Even in the car, when you're driving, you're so busy, preoccupied with mind. Some signs you don't see. Some houses you pass by, you don't even see that you have passed by. After some time, you think, oh, I have reached somewhere. Even when you are in conversation with your loved ones, you don't seem to hear words also. Your mind is preoccupied with something. When you're watching TV or something with your friends and you're not in a mood to listen, you're sitting there somewhere and you don't know what's happening around you. So first we have to train our minds. Like children, most of our NRI children, you can pick them from a distance when they are traveling at the airport. They are unregulated, uncontrollable children, jumping from place to place, changing seats from one place to another, unregulated. Mind is also like that. And only through meditation we can train our mind. It happens slowly and steadily. On the first day, within a month, it may not happen. But your day-to-day experiences will be profound. It really does not matter what happens during meditation. But after every meditation sessions, as you feel it now, you'll all feel lighter, peaceful, and calm.
Pranam Daji, thank you for such lovely session and meditation. I have a question. In this whole universe, our existence is very minuscule, and I feel that after being meditating for some time, I feel that what is the or what should be the purpose of life according to meditation? Because I feel so minute when we compare it with the entire universe.
Well, I have earlier, before meditation, expressed in the words of Swami Vivekananda, the purpose of life, evolution of consciousness. But how do we apply that in our day-to-day life? While I was practicing in business world, as they say, the real world, how should that consciousness, how should that spiritual lifestyle run my business? Very simple, whether you are a housewife or a businessman. Does that action makes your heart joyful? Do that. And with every action, connect yourself with that Adi Shakti, with the original force, with love. Anything you do, you're doing your laundry, connect yourself. You're making chapati, connect yourself with that ultimate. You're driving, connect yourself. So somehow at a subconscious level, you are always in tune with divinity. Externally, you can be doing so many things at the same time, but from inside, you are free from all sorts of stirs. There will be waves on the ocean, but at the beneath the ocean, it's all quiet. That's what the message of Gita is also. Sthita pragya state is all about attaining such a steady state in our heart, that depth, that calmness is attained in whatsoever we do. Externally, many things can happen. I do that also. We need not avoid any of that. I give you a small example. When you were riding a bicycle, and ask your parents how many times you fell from the cycle. You must have cried. But then they had this training wheels on a cycle. Then what happened? You were riding on your own. Then you were cycling, going to school, letting your hands off also, singing, talking with your friends, watching the traffic. Your main thing your body was doing was paddling the cycle. Your eyes were watching. Your mind was also occupied. You were also singing. So many things were happening at the same time. So during all our daily activities, we can paddle the way we were paddling as a child. You can keep your heart connected with your object of worship, and on side by side, you can continue doing your worldly things. That is real sadhana. See, keeping the Lord all the time. It is not enough that you meditate for 20 minutes or 30 minutes, but that must extend. Meditation creates a meditative mind, and this meditative mind must extend during our day-to-day affairs.
Daaji. In Upanishad, we say, Upanishad say we have higher bird and lower bird. And when we say we listen to our heart, right? We listen to the higher bird or the lower bird. And the other question is the higher bird is Lord Krishna? Is it true or false?
Well, there is always this higher and lower. Sometimes the lower sees the higher, and when we are meditating, when we are at a very high level of consciousness, we see our lower selves as well. So this play goes on until the higher and lower becomes one. This duality should end at some point. It's like the drop saying, when you're walking on the ocean side, the drop comes out of the ocean and falls on your hand. You feel coolness. Is this drop restless to merge back into the ocean? It has identified, in your words, this is a lower self, that's a higher self. Once this drop is thrown back into the ocean, like the raindrops falling in the ocean, the lower self merging in the higher self, they become one. Once they become one through samadhi, who is higher and who is lower, they end. That's when we say, I have arrived. One last question.
Namaste, Daaji. Just trying to combine two process of thoughts over here. So once we think about evolution, now we assume that human form is the highest or something, and probably what we got from our scriptures is something like you need to follow something to become from an ant or something, you become a dog, and then maybe monkey, human or something. So is there something like a dog or whatever, like a cat or something, did something to go to a next form or achieve the human form? And in the same way, like probably they evolved and became human. So is humans are also evolving to achieve that state of oneness or sthita prajnas or anything? And I know multiple people will be saying that at this generation, we are going to be doomed, you are going backward or something like, I don't know, I'm in the process of trying to understand so many things. So probably maybe I need your help to understand.
Well, when a dog asks me, will it evolve? I will answer the dog. But when you are asking as a human being, am I going to evolve or am I going to become a dog? I don't think you will ever become a dog, because for that to become, you'll have to do such a low things in your life. So there is only one way to go, actually, up. And without your craving for higher evolution, I don't think you would have been here in the first place. So you can tap yourself, meditate regularly, and become higher and higher and higher. Morphological evolution is a different thing, you see, which Dravidian philosophy is like that, no? Approach theory, that how we evolve our nose, our beaks, our heights. It depends on our environment, what we call epigenetics, environment affecting our genetic expression. It does affect in some way, in a very subtle way, but it has a very drastic impact. There was a study done by Dr. Bruce Lipton on epigenetics, and he studied mothers to be in a very tough, rough neighborhoods. And he saw that these mothers to be were always under a fight or flight type of situations, because husbands, they would not know when the husband would come home, if at all. And if he at all comes home, he comes with a gun and sleeps with a gun under the pillow. So that sort of study he did. And mothers, they were always under sympathomimetic mode. Now, if you know a little bit of science, that means either you're about to fight with your hands or take a flight with your legs. What does that mean? That means there is more blood rushing into your limbs. And when more blood rushes into your limbs because of these neurotransmitters, blood is diverted from your visceral organs like digestive systems, lungs. So now what happens? The baby that is growing, the embryo fetus that is growing in mother's womb, also behaves like that, like mother. Hands also are active, legs are active. Their hands and legs will be longer and their digestive system will suffer. Also, because they are under sympathomimetic mode, the back part of the brain will be bigger, amphibian brain, which is the reactive brain that makes you all burst with a lot of emotions. You have unregulated emotions. And this frontal part, frontal cortex they call, will be less developed in such children where mothers are always stressed because of the external environment. That's why in India, especially, I haven't heard of any other culture where they send the daughter-in-law, once the parents, I mean mother-in-law or father-in-law comes to know that our daughter-in-law is now pregnant, they worshipfully, reverentially, they send her back home to her parents' place. I don't know what we call that in Gujarati. પિયર તો મોકલે પણ પેલું હા ખોળો ભરે છે એનો અને પછી ઘરે મોકલી આપે. ખોળો ભર્યા પછી they are looked after very well in the parents' place. That place is very familiar. So she is in the comfort of her own familiar environment, no stress. It is not that the in-laws family was bad, but there is more comfort. Because even though they may not be pushing you to do anything, because after all, Indian society in those days when all these rituals were established, it was by and large agrarian society. So every family members contributed to farming. So she would not feel ashamed that I'm not contributing anything. So she can rest in her parental place. And the growth will be desirable growth. No stress. So cognitive functions will be better. Frontal cortex will be very well developed. Emotionally sound children will be born. So we have to provide that environment. And not only after conception, but before even think of conception, this environment has to be created. between the partners, as well as the overall house atmosphere has to be in. If you want souls to enter your family who are like Vivekanandas and Buddhas of a high caliber, but if you want to mate like animals, you have a choice. But soul that will be attracted at that moment where you mate carelessly, then the souls of that attitude with those vibrations will descend in that womb. So we have to be very careful choosing the partner whom you can love. Don't get into stress because so and so is forcing you to marry. You must make sure there is mutual love. There is mutual spiritual goal. You see, what happens when husband and wife, they are meditating together, for example. Imagine the atmosphere that is created in that house. And not only husband and wife, but if parents and grandchildren, they all come together and meditate. Imagine the atmosphere of that house. Vaikunt, they say, Vaikunt ban jata hai, see. So evolution is in our hands. There is no God controlling our own evolution. It is our choice. How we mold our thinking, our lifestyle, that not only will change us, but it will change the future generations also. So now, I would share with you something different from meditation, but the result of relaxation in a family where parents are also meditating. Something what we call a birth of a newly intuitive minds are born. And we're going to showcase you some children who will be able to do. It will be more than a miracle to most of you. Some of you may even say, oh, this is humbug, this is... But if you bring your own children or grandchildren and see for yourself that yes, they are all trainable, there is no magic in it. So it's a cognitive minds training. And we call it Brighter Mind Project. So some children will come here and showcase you what they have learned so far through this heartfulness.
I request the Brighter Mind children to come up on stage.
About how we can help our Welcome to Brighter Minds. As parents, we all have questions about how we can help our children achieve their true potential. We often ask ourselves, how can I inspire creativity in my children? Can excellence become a habit for them? What can be done to increase their observational capabilities? How can one enhance their power of intuition? How can one help increase their self-confidence? The answer is not complicated. A child's brain at birth is connected through various pathways, allowing it to perform various functions with a high sense of awareness of its surroundings. This helps the child quickly assess its environment and process the information, thereby making it adapt easily to different scenarios. As the child grows, the brain is subjected to numerous external influences, making its reaction to a certain kind of exposure a habit through repetition, thereby becoming molded to work efficiently in the specific set of scenarios. By being continuously exposed to a select set of outward influences, the innate and subtler abilities of the brain are either lost or their pathways underdeveloped, making the child conditioned to respond efficiently only in a certain set of environments. To enhance the sensory perceptions and cognitive functions of the brain, Brighter Minds offers a unique whole brain wellness program designed to help children reach their true potential. Neuroscientists working in this field have proven that enhancements can be made in cognitive functions of the brain and have put forward the theory of neuroplasticity. This theory states that because neurons or nerve cells process and transmit information through electrical and chemical signals between brain cells every nanosecond, brain structures are being easily shaped or molded. This elastic condition of the brain allows it to repair, regenerate, or change in response to stimuli that are either sensory, motor, cognitive, or emotional. The Brighter Minds model integrates various techniques from research and the latest scientific developments in brain function and education to stimulate brainwave changes that result in improved cognitive abilities and brain efficiency. A child in a Brighter Minds training program will develop a different mindset and exhibit positive traits such as enhanced observational skills, which improves the ability to stay focused with increased attention time spans, thinking out of the box, and solving problems creatively. Power of intuition, which improves perceptivity and intuition and increases self-confidence, helping your child in making decisions in stressful and demanding environments. A habit of excellence that makes your child perform to his or her fullest potential and live life with a loving heart and human values. The Brighter Minds program is for children between the ages of 5 to 15, and the 30-hour program is conducted over 8 weekends. As the brain is more elastic during the formative years, it offers greater opportunities for development and change and gives your child a unique gift to acquire knowledge, understanding, and solve problems throughout life. Unlock the potential which is hidden inside each and every child. Give yourself and your child a gift for a lifetime.
Namaste, everybody. My name is Srinath. I'm 16 years old, and I've been part of the Brighter Minds program for 8 years.
Hello, everybody. My name is Lakshman. I'm 17 years old, and I've been part of Brighter Minds for 6 years.
Brighter Minds is a program aimed at kids aged 5 to 15 to help them develop cognitive function, sensory perception, and intuitive abilities, among other benefits.
In this program, children undergo activities such as breathing exercises, eye coordination exercises, and alpha wave music, as well as brain gym exercises, which our kids from Atlanta will show here.
So our first exercise is going to be called Tom and Jerry. First, you're going to take your hand and then you're going to turn them around like this. And you're going to create a fist and take your left arm and put your thumb in a position like this and your right hand's pinky in the same direction. Now we will switch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
For this next exercise, you're going to take your right hand and put it a few inches from the top of your stomach. And you're going to rotate it in a circular motion. And then you're going to take your left hand and put it a few inches from the top of your head. And you're going to move it up and down. Now, let's combine these two motions and do it 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to do the same thing with the other hands. So we're going to switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
So for this next exercise, both our hands out. In our left hand, we're gonna have our index finger and our middle finger out. In our right hand, we're gonna have our index finger and our pinky finger. And we're gonna switch. Then we're gonna switch again. We're gonna keep going back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
For our final exercise, we will take our right hand and put it on our nose and our left hand on our right ear. Now put your hands on your knees. Now we'll do the same thing, but on the other side. So put your right hand on your nose and your left hand on your ear. Now put your hands on your knees again. Continue this motion 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I would like 2 volunteers.
Thank you, everybody, for those exercises. Can we have a round of applause for them? So the alpha music aspect of the program is specifically engineered to make our brain function at the alpha frequency, which is the optimal state for learning, and also helps us better develop our intuitive abilities. We also practice these blindfolded activities, which deprive our eyes of light so they don't send information to our brain, which helps us further develop our other senses to perceive things such as color, which we will demonstrate to you in a short demo.
I would like 1 volunteer to come help with our demonstration. Over there. Please come up. What is your name?
Namaste everyone. My name is Darshan Patel.
So he's now going to try on the blindfold.
Do I have to blindfold myself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you see anything?
Nothing.
Thank you. You can take off the blindfold.
Thank you.
So,
Okay.
okay. Sit down.
So now these children are going to recognize the ball colors. They'll be wearing blindfold. Put the blindfolds on. Oh. So you can give any ball to Srinath. And you come here. You can hold the ball in Lakshman. Are you ready, Srinath?
This is orange.
One more ball. You can.
This is blue.
Yeah. This is green.
This is Mikey. This is pink.
Thank you.
Can I give an object? The color of this object is what I'm asking. I can give it in your hand.
It would be black.
Wow. Okay.
So now we have a next activity. We can have easel here. We can have one more volunteer here. Anyone? Yes, please come. Yeah, thank you. Please come. Your name?
I'm Harsh.
Harsh. Okay, so here you are going to write something on this easel and he is going to say what it is, right? I'll give you the... Middle, in the middle. Thank you. This back, this back. Yes. Hmm? In the middle of it. Exactly.
Oh, is the mic in front of me?
Yes.
It would be Daaji.
Wow. ओके आप ये क्यूब शफल करके इसको दीजिए. If you have a dollar bill, you can give him. He will read the sequence number.
Any dollar.
Any. Okay. I'll hold the mic.
This mic. Okay. This is a $5 bill. And the code is PJ14203197A.
Thank you. Thank you.
So as I was saying, any child can be trained, can learn all this over 30 hours of training. The results, simple things like color identification can start, any child can start identifying just on the first or second day itself. And I encourage giving this gift, this talent to your grandchildren and children if they are between 5 and 15. Most of us are outdated for this program, see. So thank you, and I'm very grateful, extremely grateful. I must express my thanks this very first session of meditation to the trustees of this Ambaji Ma temple. Thank you, Sampo.